typical young adult, if you will. He is a person who's been diagnosed with severe autism, and he has a variety of behavioral challenges, including the issue of aggression. He has much difficulty in transitioning from one place to another, which sometimes generate aggressive behavior where he does harm to himself, to others, and that of property. He has been at a facility getting his educational support at Glen Eden for the last 12 years. Over the years, the choice of Glen Eden has proven to be an important choice for Peter because Glen Eden provides for treatment service, scientific, clinical support in his education. What they do there at Glen Eden is that they measure his physiological outputs, if you will, in a very scientific way. His arousal, for example, is measured on a minute-by-minute basis so that the staff there can understand the challenges or the level of behavioral changes that Peter might be experiencing so that they could adjust the environment and the techniques that they are using to assist him to operate in that environment and to be able to learn to recognize his own behavioral needs and how to regulate those behavioral needs. In the last little while, it has become increasingly difficult for Peter at Glen Eden, where he had to stay at home for a period of time and where his aggression had become somewhat unmanageable. The challenge became apparent to all the experts in Peter's lives. This includes his behavioral therapist, includes his psychiatrist, and the people who's worked with Peter for the last 12 years. And what they have said is that there needs to be consistency and continuity in Peter's environment 24/7. What happens right now is that Peter goes to Glen Eden from 9 to 3. He goes there for his education, and then he goes home. But the transition to and from home is a difficult journey for Peter. Transitioning from one location to another is extremely difficult, which sometimes generates aggressive behavior. The other aspect as well is that in the home environment, the continuity of what Glen Eden offers in the treatment program is broken and is not there. And so therefore, the family had requested the Ministry of Children and Families to allow for Peter to stay at Glen Eden's residential care program so that he could have that 24/7 care and support and programming in place so that they could work with him around the clock, if you will, so that he can learn and recognize his emotional needs and what they are, recognize his scheduling, and to recognize also how to self-regulate his behavior so that he could one day enter into a space where he could live semi-independently with some support. That is the goal that the family has set out for Peter, and that is the goal that the experts in Peter's lives believe that he could achieve. And that is certainly the goal that the people who's worked with Peter in the educational program for the last 12 years thinks that he could achieve as well. And in that request to the ministry has said no to the family. Instead, the ministry has said to the family that they want to place Peter at a different environment, an environment where it only offers residential care bed support. So that is to say that there would be no educational program in that alternative facility. That is to say that it is a bed and is comfortable and is recreational and it would work for some people, but it is not a care facility that would work for Peter. And in spite of ongoing advocacy, the ministry has said no. Now, at one point back in about December of last year, there was a glimmer of hope where the family had thought that the ministry might change their position. But ultimately, later on, the family had learned that the ministry had never intended to place Peter at Glen Eden for the residential care component. and Angela is going to speak to some of that. I want to say in a very, very clear way to the minister and to the Liberal government that the experts are the people that they need to listen to. They are the people who have said that this is the best outcome and course of action for Peter, for his future. That to improve his quality of life, that this is what Peter needs right now. I'm just going to take a moment